In this morning's Business Insight, a longtime musketeer who traces his lineage with the school through generations has just completed his first semester as Dean of Xavier University's Williams College of Business. Dr. Tom Hayes has been a faculty member or chair of the marketing department for 4 decades. He was selected Dean after a national search. He joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio. Tom and Rob.
Thank you very much, Peg. And Dean, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
So Peg mentioned it. You have a long history with Xavier. Maybe you can explain that.
I grew up at Xavier's campus. My father taught there for 27 years. This is my 41st year at the university, and shockingly, I went to school there. So I got my undergraduate and MBA there. So, and I was also fortunate enough to work with my father for 8 years during that time.
So you've just wrapped your first semester as Dean.
Mm-hmm.
What surprises have you seen? What happened that maybe you didn't expect?
Well, I think the thing that's the biggest surprise is how enthusiastic the business community is for Xavier University. You know, so every place I go, I spend a lot of time out in the community and talking to people and meeting with people. And everywhere I go, it's a tremendous reception. And so I always feel welcomed. I always feel like they're happy to be there, and they're looking for ways to integrate with the university.
Yeah, it's such a huge part of the city. Mm-hmm. This is a difficult time now for all colleges, all universities. It's a very competitive time, specifically for business schools. What do you think makes Xavier, with the Williams School, different or unique in a way that you can sell to potential students?
Well, it's interesting. I've had the honor of working for every dean that's ever existed at the College of Business. You know, so I'm going to go back to the original dean, Dr. Tom Hailstones, because one of the things he built our college on were 2 principles. Number one, what you learn today, you use tomorrow, and I think that's still true. I mean, so our professors and our teachers have, strong ties into the business community, have lots of business, experience, and so the whole idea is to bring experiential learning and their experience into the classroom. So whether you're an undergraduate or an MBA student, whatever you're learning today, you should be able to apply the very next day and may have an immediate impact on your business. So
yeah, you feel like that's been carried over all through the decades.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other thing is that a lot of people were surprised by the fact that, we started in 1961 as a business college. Yeah. And since then, we have 16,000 MBA graduates and 11,200 undergraduates. So we actually have more MBA graduates in the marketplace than the undergraduates.
Wow.
And as a result, and that's from the second principle, and that is that you teach where the students are. So way before there were any other schools doing it, we were teaching nights, weekends, off-site. So today we have online, part-time, full-time, off-site, you name it. If there's a way of going to school and getting your education, we can do it for you.
Xavier will be there. Last question for you. Get out the crystal ball for a second and maybe look into the future, forecast in the future. What do you think will be different at Williams in a year from now and then maybe even 5 years from now?
Well, I think there are a couple of things that you'll see. Is that number one, I think we're going to be a very strong partner in the startup community. We're working very hard in that particular area and trying to make as many connections as possible. And secondly, I think you'll find that our customer analytics and business analytics programs will be known for students and graduates that have not only understand data, but even better, they can provide the insights to the sort of so what, now what part, and have the presentation skills to be able to deliver them to senior executives with some confidence.
One of the things that at the Courier, very selfishly, you guys have been kind enough over the years to let us sneak in every once in a while to use your Bloomberg terminals, which, if any of you who haven't seen Bloomberg terminals, they look like you're doing the Starship Enterprise. They're amazing machines. I can't remember how many terminals you guys have, but they're nice, and that's something that students certainly shouldn't take for granted either.
Well, absolutely. At the undergraduate and graduate level, we have the Fifth Third Trading Center that the students actually invest $3 million of Xavier's money, and every year. So they must be doing a pretty good job, because every year the university gives it back to them. So they get to start off. So it's a great. Once again, what really try to focus on the experiential learning. So whether we try to bring things into the classroom that they can use right away. So again, in like our analytics programs, we're using partners' live data. We're using the programs the same thing that they're doing, whether it's the investment center or our students doing projects with Cal, North America in the marketing area. Everything we try to do is to integrate ourselves and work with the business community.
And that's really a big part of, talk about your new job. You've been at Xavier forever, but this is new for you. Were there any apprehensions, or did you pause a bit before you decided that this was for you? Because you've had a very, very successful career doing something else.
Well, you know, I'm fortunate enough to work someplace I love, and
Yeah.
you know, my wife's big question is always, you know, why did you give up 4 months vacation for 4 weeks? You know, and you're not going to do that unless you absolutely love the place.
Right.
And so, you know, I've been there a long time. I anticipate being there for at least another 10 years. And so I thought during those 10 years, I thought, you know, it would be an honor and a privilege to be able to do this job. And so far, I said, I am absolutely loving it. So I said, every place I've gone, people have been very welcoming and, you know, and looking for ways to work with us.
When you're talking to graduates out in the business community, when I talk to Xavier grads, they're really enthusiastic about having gone there. It's something that they carry with them their entire lives. I'm sure you see that too, but do they have any stories about their experience in the business school that maybe you just see over and over again, something that they've all say, oh, this is what made the program for me?
Well, I think number one, and especially at the MBA level, there's a lot of networking going on, so people are working with each other and trying to understand how one company might do it differently than another. I think the other thing is the focus on the personal attention, in the sense that both at the undergraduate and the graduate level, every faculty member is going to get to know your name and really get involved in your success and cares about your success. And I think the third thing really has to do with making sure we infuse, you know, based upon our Jesuit tradition, you know, ethical, decision making. So one of the things we find out is that as people have graduated, they love to tell stories about when they've come up with a decision they had to make, and they were able to follow those ethical standards to do the right thing.
That's great. Congratulations on the new gig. It's not very brand new right now, but congrats and thanks so much for being here.
I'm happy to be here, and by the way, I got my book of lists yesterday, and I already have Post-it notes in it.
I love to hear that. You just made my day. Thank you.
All right, thank you.